Hello everyone. Today we are on the fifth day. I hope that the last four videos you found them useful. You might be wondering, especially those who have seen my February series on finding the warrior within, may wonder why am I talking about it again here? To me, fear of any kind is requires the warrior to be available. And when I say warrior, I don't really mean only fighting. As you know, of the various components of a warrior, it's not just about fighting, it's about being able to look at life and deal with it in a way that is both responsible as well as self protective and protective of others. So, a lot of aspect about freedom is us being free from blaming others, us being taking responsibility for our own lives, and working with that to take care of our life and find joy and freedom. I was thinking that from a mythological standpoint, if you really look at it, Sita is considered to be one of the Panchakanyas and supposed to be a warrior in a sense. Of course, she never lifted a weapon except the Shiv Dhanush that she could lift, but never lifted a weapon in a war, and yet she was kept captive, and it feels as if she did not enjoy freedom or joy. But if you really look at the whole entire Ramayana, you will realize how much of freedom she exercised right from the beginning to the end. If you really look at, and why am I saying a mythology story? When I talk about mythological story, there is a Sita probably outside, which is who is there in the Ramayana story, but we all have the Sita within us, or any other figure. You can take Arjun, if you like. You can take the other Panchakanyas, which include Draupadi, which include Kunti, and others. But uh, all of these figures are also in us, and if we can find in our lives, despite whatever the life presents to us, and find the warrior within, it will help us even apply whatever we have spoken in the last four videos, and uh, help us achieve freedom. So from that standpoint, I thought, let's revisit the warrior within and also take Sita's example. Shaurya. Now, where did she show Shaurya? She showed Shaurya by sticking to what she thought is the right thing to do, not falling prey to the fear that she must have had, not bowing down to Ravana and his insistences, by standing her ground at different places, including in the end when her sons are taken by Rama, and Rama is willing to take her back. There also she stands her ground. That also requires some level of shaurya. So, what kind of courage when we face any problem? It could be an illness, it could be a challenge in our work, it could be a challenge in our life. Do we get scared and lock ourselves in, or do we stand up and say, okay, I will do my best, I will do whatever I can? So that is what is shaurya. The second aspect is dharya. So along with courage, sometimes things take time to resolve. Sometimes some problems take a long time to resolve. Some illnesses take a long time to resolve. Can I also be patient and wait that things will happen in their own time? Or do I become restless and start fighting with everything and everyone, thus losing our energy? And therefore, patience is an important requirement. Then is dharma. And I see dharma both as duty as well as responsibility. So, one of the things that as a warrior we need to do is that no matter where we are and how trapped we are, can we take responsibility for how we feel and what we say to ourselves and to others? Can we take responsibility for what identities we are feeding and what identities we are not feeding? So, if you leave out the TV serial representation of Sita, where she's shown as this poor thing who is constantly crying, Sita actually is an epitome of Shaurya, Dhairya as well as Dharma. She takes responsibility everywhere, even when raising her sons, even though it was very unfair, or at least in today's world we might call it unfair, that she was asked to leave her palatial home and go into the forest just because somebody said something about her and just because her purity was challenged. She raised her sons and she took responsibility for what she was doing. And do we do that? Can we take responsibility for whatever it is that I'm supposed to do, irrespective of the circumstances? And of course, along with responsibility comes action. So, are we constantly taking small actions in expanding ourselves? In looking at which are the areas that we need to change, which are the beliefs that we need to challenge, what are the small actions we need to take? Then is krodha, and krodha is the anger. So if again, if I go back to Sita, she is not saying, oh, now I don't know what to do. She has anger. That's how she stands up to Ravana. That's how she takes decision. But she uses anger as a protective energy and not something that she's throwing around. Right. So within us there is this part. There is this warrior which holds anger in a way that will help us become strong. Anger is energy. It is emotion. It is an energy, and it's an energy that confronts. It's an energy that faces obstacle. It's that energy. Can we leverage this energy in making ourselves more free and push ourselves forward? And Shama. Now, Shama in colloquial terms is considered to be forgiveness, but this is more than forgiveness. When I forgive a person, I somehow take an upper position and that person becomes a lower position. Instead, what if I expand myself in such a way that that person's action doesn't affect me? I may take a decision to punish the person, get the person punished, or not have anything to do with the person. That's a different thing, but it will not affect me or affect my psyche. So, can I awaken the warrior within? Now, how does this help us in whatever we have spoken about so far? So, we have spoken about how the various emotions imprison us. When we over engage in an emotion, when we go on expressing it or sit with it and overdo it, we require the warrior to show the courage to stand up as well as the patience to release whatever emotion that is coming. Then, when we look at our identities, we look at what are the identities that are keeping us captive. For example, if I am in a relationship where I'm really struggling and that person is troubling me, but I'm not letting that person go because I'm saying no, but I'm a friend or whatever, I'm a wife, I'm a husband, I can't just give up, or I'm a mother or father. That time, do we question that yes, I'm a mother, but do I need to be a victim mother? Or I'm a father, do I need to be a victim father? Or I'm a daughter, do I need to be? What is my responsibility here? What are the actions I need to take? What kind of anger do I need to do? And therefore, what should be my next step? What is the courageous next steps I should take? Same is with your body. So with your body, to stay with your body in the emotion and whatever are the impacts of trauma will require patience. It will require courage, but it will also require taking responsibility. It will also require taking actions, right? And it will also require expansion. It will also require us to become bigger than our problems, bigger than our emotions, bigger than our thoughts, and bigger than whatever it is that we are facing. Can we look at it from there? That is why awakening the warrior within is very, very important for us to carry out this whole process of becoming more free and becoming more and more joyful, having greater and greater control. As I said before, we'll never become equal to the circle of concern. The circle of control will never become equal to the circle of concern, but we have to go on increasing our influence, and that's the whole purpose of human life. I hope you like this video and the video in the series. Do write back, do comment. Thank you.
Help Talks are daily health related talks held at Health Education Library for People, Mumbai, India. For more information visit www.healthlibrary.com. Subscribe to Help Talks channel. Be better informed about your health.